Welcome to the Employee Performance Review System training, part of the Performance Management Program at Pennwest University. This session is designed to provide a comprehensive understanding of the EPR process, its purpose, and how it supports both individual and organizational success. Let's begin by reviewing today's agenda. Today's session will cover several key areas. We'll begin by discussing the role of performance management and how performance appraisals fit into that framework. Next, we'll explore how to develop effective performance standards. We'll also cover best practices for writing comments, identifying employee strengths and development opportunities, and conducting the EPR interview. By the end of this session, you'll have a clear understanding of how to implement the EPR process effectively and fairly. It's important to distinguish between performance management and performance appraisal. Performance management is a long-term, continuous process that aligns employee performance with organizational goals. It involves planning, motivating, coaching, and evaluating performance throughout the year. In contrast, performance appraisal is a short-term, retrospective evaluation that focuses on measuring results and competencies at a specific point in time. While performance management is ongoing and supervisor-led, performance appraisals are typically housed in the HR office and emphasize documentation and formal review. Effective performance management requires both knowledge and skills. When these are present, we can focus on motivation, coaching, feedback, and appropriate disciplinary actions. When they are not present, we must invest in training, development, preceptorship, and mentorship. This slide illustrates the broader context in which performance management operates, highlighting the importance of continuous learning and support systems. Performance management is not a one-time event. It is a continuous process that enhances employee performance and organizational effectiveness. This cycle includes planning, implementing, evaluating, and reviewing. It begins with setting clear expectations and goals, followed by ongoing coaching and feedback. Regular evaluations ensure that performance aligns with organizational objectives, and adjustments are made as needed. This iterative process supports both employee development and strategic outcomes. The Employee Performance Review serves multiple critical purposes. It is used in the hiring process, particularly when conducting interviewer reviews. It also plays a role in determining permanent employment status and serves as supporting documentation in grievances or appeals. Additionally, the EPR is a key reference to support non-represented merit increases when available. These functions underscore the importance of accurate, fair, and timely performance evaluations. Beyond administrative functions, the EPR provides an opportunity to recognize and praise employee achievements, coach for improvement, and commend exceptional work. It helps establish and communicate responsibilities, priorities, and accountability. Ultimately, the EPR supports organizational effectiveness by aligning individual performance with institutional goals and fostering a culture of continuous improvement. Effective performance management is built on four foundational components: the position description and essential job functions, performance standards and expectations, performance evaluation, and effective communication. These elements answer key questions: what is to be done? How well should it be done? How well was it done? And how effectively was it communicated? Together, they form a comprehensive framework for managing and evaluating employee performance. The planning phase is critical to the success of the performance management cycle. It begins with updating the job description to ensure it accurately reflects current responsibilities. Next, performance standards must be established and communicated in writing. Supervisors should also create or review the Employee Development Plan, or EDP, to align individual growth with organizational needs. This phase sets the foundation for meaningful performance evaluation and development. Effective performance management is built on 4 foundational components: the position description and essential job functions, performance standards and expectations, performance evaluation, and effective communication. These elements answer key questions: what is to be done? How well should it be done? How well was it done? And how effectively was it communicated? Together, they form a comprehensive framework for managing and evaluating employee performance. The planning phase is critical to the success of the performance management cycle. It begins with updating the job description to ensure it accurately reflects current responsibilities. Next, performance standards must be established and communicated in writing. Supervisors should also create or review the Employee Development Plan, or EDP, to align individual growth with organizational needs. This phase sets the foundation for meaningful performance evaluation and development. A key update in the performance management process is the requirement that standards be written specifically for the satisfactory rating category and for the designated rating period, unless otherwise stated. This ensures clarity and consistency in evaluating employee performance. Standards must reflect what is expected at a satisfactory level, providing a clear benchmark for both employees and supervisors. Effective performance standards follow the SMART criteria. They must be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. These standards can take various forms, including expectations, objectives, duties, goals, priorities, and responsibilities. Each standard should correlate job duties with expected results and job factors with performance expectations. This approach ensures that performance is evaluated based on clear, objective, and attainable criteria. Job factor links provide detailed explanations of the behaviors and issues associated with each job factor. These links help supervisors and employees understand how performance is assessed and measured. An online version of these links will be made available through pennwest's HR resources. These tools are essential for ensuring transparency and consistency in performance evaluations. The factor method is a structured approach to developing performance standards. It begins with ensuring that the position description is current. Supervisors then review performance factors with the employee and develop standards for each factor. It's important to determine which factor each standard falls under and to work collaboratively with the employee to reach agreement. This method promotes clarity, alignment, and shared understanding of performance expectations/P. Job factors are the core components used to evaluate employee performance. These include job knowledge and skills, work results, communication, initiative and problem solving, interpersonal relations and equal employment opportunity, work habits, and supervision or management. Each factor represents a critical area of performance and should be assessed using clearly defined standards. Understanding and applying these factors consistently ensures a fair and comprehensive evaluation process. Weighting performance standards and factors is essential for reflecting the relative importance of each aspect of the job. Supervisors should discuss these weightings with the employee and document them on the evaluation form. The percentage assigned to each factor should represent its value to the overall job. These weights should be referenced during progress reviews and supported by written rationale. This approach ensures transparency and aligns performance expectations with job priorities. Implementation involves more than just setting standards. It requires active engagement. Supervisors must observe employee performance, provide coaching and mentoring, and offer informal feedback throughout the review period. This ongoing interaction helps employees stay aligned with expectations and fosters continuous improvement. It also builds trust and encourages open communication between supervisors and staff. Tracking performance is a shared responsibility between supervisors and employees. Supervisors may use spot checks, maintain activity files, or review activity reports. Employees can also keep logs or records of their accomplishments. In some cases, performance may be tracked through complaints or other feedback mechanisms. These tools provide valuable data for formal evaluations and help ensure that performance is assessed accurately and fairly. Formal feedback is a critical component of the performance management process. It includes progress reviews, annual reviews, interim reviews, and probationary reviews. Each type of review serves a specific purpose and provides structured opportunities to assess and discuss performance. Formal feedback should be based on documented observations and aligned with established standards. It is essential for recognizing achievements, identifying areas for improvement, and guiding professional development. There are several types of formal performance reviews, each serving a distinct purpose. These include the annual review, progress review, semi-probationary review at 3 months, and the semi-annual or mid-period review at 6 months. Interim reviews are conducted as needed, and probationary reviews are required for new hires or employees in new roles. Each review type ensures that performance is monitored and documented at appropriate intervals, supporting both employee development and organizational accountability. Interim reviews should be prepared during the rating cycle under specific circumstances. These include changes in the employee's rater, transfers or promotions, significant changes in job duties, or extended assignments outside of classification. Interim reviews are also appropriate when performance concerns arise or when determined necessary by the rater. These reviews ensure that performance is accurately documented and that expectations remain clear throughout the rating period. Interim reviews are mandatory when disciplinary action is initiated due to continued unsatisfactory performance. While the interim review is not the official notification of adverse action, it must be completed to document the performance issues. For non-represented employees, an interim review should be conducted approximately 6 months after appointment, transfer, or promotion. An interim review should be done if an employee is not meeting performance standards, needs improvement, or unsatisfactory ratings in the EPR. In this circumstance, the supervisor needs to contact HR for additional guidance. These reviews are essential for maintaining accurate performance records and supporting fair personnel decisions. The probationary review assesses an employee's suitability for continued employment in their position. It is conducted as part of the annual fiscal year EPR cycle. The probationary period begins on the employee's start date, October 15th in this example, and concludes on June 30th. Key milestones include the probationary review on April 15th and an interim review on May 3rd if there is a change in rater. This structured timeline ensures that new employees receive timely feedback and support during their initial months. This slide presents a hypothetical timeline for the EPR process. The employee's start date is October 15th. A semi-probationary review is conducted on January 15th, followed by the probationary review on April 15th. If there is a change in rater, an interim review is completed on May 3rd. The annual review is finalized on June 30th. This timeline illustrates how the EPR process is structured to provide continuous feedback and ensure that performance is evaluated consistently throughout the year. There are several important considerations to keep in mind during the EPR process. If an employee refuses to sign the EPR, it does not invalidate the review. However, electronic signatures are not permitted on official EPR documents. Employees are allowed to submit written rebuttals or provide supporting documentation. They are given 5 business days to sign the EPR and submit any comments. These procedures ensure that employees have a fair opportunity to respond while maintaining the integrity of the review process. An employee performance review may be subject to a grievance for any reason. These include situations where the supervisor conducting the review was not familiar with the employee's performance, or if the rater was unavailable. Grievances may also arise if the review process was improper, if the EPR was used to implement or threaten discipline, or if the employee alleges discrimination in the rating. Understanding these grounds helps ensure that the EPR process is conducted fairly and in compliance with policy. Writing effective comments is essential to support the assigned rating. Comments should be consistent with the rating level, identify areas for development, and provide clear guidance for improvement. They should also include recognition of job-related accomplishments. Comments must be substantive and objective, avoiding vague or emotional language. A well-written comment enhances the credibility of the evaluation and provides meaningful feedback to the employee. A performance improvement plan, or PIP, is encouraged when any performance factor is rated as needs improvement or unsatisfactory. It becomes mandatory if the overall rating falls into either of these categories. The PIP outlines specific areas for improvement, sets measurable goals, and provides a timeline for progress. It is a constructive tool designed to help employees meet performance expectations and succeed in their roles. Regardless of the rating level, outstanding, commendable, satisfactory, needs improvement, or unsatisfactory, comments are required. These comments should justify the rating, highlight achievements, and identify areas for growth. Avoid using inappropriate or sarcastic remarks, even in jest, as they undermine the professionalism of the review. Instead, focus on objective, behavior-based observations that support the evaluation and guide future performance. When writing comments, it is essential to distinguish between attitude and behavior. Attitude-based comments tend to be vague, emotional, and subjective, which can lead to misunderstandings or disputes. In contrast, behavior-based comments are specific, observable, and objective. They focus on what the employee did rather than how the supervisor felt about it. This approach ensures that feedback is constructive, actionable, and defensible. Effective feedback should be clear and concise, yet comprehensive. Substantial comments typically include several elements: the specific job activity being addressed, the degree or level of performance, the conditions under which the work was performed, any influential factors, concrete examples, observable trends, and the consequences or outcomes of the behavior. This level of detail not only supports the rating, but also provides meaningful guidance for the employee. Recognizing and reinforcing strengths helps boost employee confidence, morale, and motivation. It's not just about fixing what's wrong. It's about celebrating what's right. Highlight how strengths contribute to team and organizational goals. For example, your ability to simplify complex information has helped the team deliver more effective presentations. Development opportunities should be personalized. Think beyond training. What skills could the employee grow to take on more responsibility, solve problems, or collaborate better? Also consider, are there gaps preventing them from meeting expectations? Are they ready for more advanced tasks? Plan development as a partnership, not a directive. This slide is about identifying actionable opportunities for employee development based on their performance review. First, we look at any job factors that were rated below satisfactory. Ask yourself, what specific problem existed? Was it a lack of knowledge, inconsistent performance, or perhaps unclear expectations? Pinpointing the root issue is essential to creating an effective development plan. We examine job factors that were rated at satisfactory or above. Even if a rating seems acceptable, ask, why wasn't it higher? This helps identify areas where performance could be elevated from good to great. Finally, think ahead. What would this employee need to grow into the next level? Consider the knowledge, skills, and abilities they'd need to take on more responsibility, handle more complex tasks, or even move into a leadership role. This analysis forms the basis for a strong employee development plan and ensures that feedback leads to growth, not just evaluation. In this slide, we're focusing on 4 primary areas to guide employee development planning. 1. Mandatory training requirements. Start with required trainings, including compliance modules, certifications, or institutional programs. These are foundational and ensure employees are equipped to meet basic expectations. 2. Improving current job performance. Identify any skill gaps or areas where the employee could enhance their performance in their current role. This might include technical skills, communication, time management, or role-specific processes. 3. Preparation for future job assignments. Think strategically. What does this employee need to be ready for the next level? This could involve leadership development, project management, or expanding their role responsibilities. Enriching the work experience. Not all development is about upward mobility. Consider how we can keep the work fresh and engaging. Opportunities like cross-training, special projects, mentoring, or job shadowing can enrich the day-to-day experience and help employees build a broader perspective. These categories can be used to build a personalized, effective development plan that aligns with the employee's goals and organizational needs. This formula helps pinpoint development needs in a structured, actionable way. The employee needs to learn what to level for purpose. For example, the employee needs to learn Microsoft Excel to an advanced level to prepare quarterly budget reports. Be specific to support measurable growth. Development doesn't just mean sending someone to a class. Think broadly. Job rotations, mentoring, preceptorships, or special assignments. Self-directed learning and shadowing others can also be effective. Match the method to the learning style and objective. Learning doesn't stop once a job is mastered. Encourage staff to adopt a mindset of ongoing improvement. Whether it's staying current with industry trends, learning new tools, or growing leadership skills, lifelong learning is vital for success at pennwest and beyond. Coaching is the cornerstone of effective performance appraisal. The process includes preparation, conducting the appraisal meeting, and following through on agreed actions. Coaching should be continuous, not limited to formal reviews. It involves setting clear expectations, providing regular feedback, and supporting employee development. This proactive approach helps employees stay engaged, improve performance, and achieve their professional goals. If you need help writing standards, developing plans, or navigating a tough conversation, please contact the Office of Human Resources. We're here to support you. You can submit a performance management request via HR Connect or call 724-938-4427.